Hello there guys and welcome to the F1 Debate Show, a brand new look F1 Debate Show. Finally managed to get the video out. It's been about a month since I said I would relaunch the channel in its new series, in its new look, but unfortunately things get in the way, just life in general. Finally, we're here, we're back, and I'm able to share with you guys the brand new look F1 Debate Show. Now, just before we jump into the episode then, just sort of quickly go through what is the new series all about, what is the new show, what is the plan really. Other than that, well, it's just sort of all like our old bits, all about the news, and of course the world of Formula 1, mainly debates. That's what for Debate Show is. Sort of all rolled into one basically. So it used to be, one episode would be about the news, then we'll have a debate show, then we'll probably talk about the previews and the reviews and all that, just like we used to do a few years ago. But now it's sort of all rolled into one. So I'll start off with the news. I'll normally talk about 3 or 4 news stories that have happened in the week of Formula 1. So sort of, find the articles, give you all the, pick up the main points from there and, give my thoughts on the statements, whether that's a driver moving, development changes or, new tracks coming and going, transfer rumours, whatever it may be. I'll give my thoughts, and of course I'll love to hear your opinions as well. So like I said, 3 or 4 normally. We'll see what the week is like. Some weeks are busier than others. And then we move on into the debate. Now this is going to be the title of the video that you're going to see. So I'll probably sit down in a different spot. I'll talk about what it is I'll be talking about. In this instance, it will be about, of course, Charles Leclerc, his future at Ferrari. So we'll sit down there, talk about that. And again, just share my thoughts, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. And at the very end of the episode, not every single episode, but whenever there is a Grand Prix on the horizon, we'll have a look at the standings and take a look at the weather heading into that said Grand Prix. So for this weekend, it will be the Hungarian Grand Prix, and then when the races resume again after Belgium, then of course we will be resuming that as well. So that's sort of the plan: news, debate, and then looking ahead at the race as well. So yeah, that's sort of the new look F1 Debate. So let's kick things off then. Let's jump into the news and what's been happening this week in Formula 1. So starting off then, we have some news about the future of the Belgian Grand Prix. Now, it's been rumoured that it's not going to be on the calendar for 2023. During the French Grand Prix, rather, there were rumours that the race itself was not on the provisional 2023 calendar. France wasn't there either, so we think we know France isn't going to be there anyways. But of course, Belgian Grand Prix, like I said, rumoured it wasn't on the provisional calendar. But now apparently it will be on the calendar for 2023 because we've got some new races coming in next year. Of course, we've got Las Vegas making its debut in Formula 1. South Africa was rumoured to be reappearing on the calendar back in Kyalami. Now, it was supposed to be 2023, and that was supposed to be making way for the Belgian Grand Prix. That was going to be its replacement. But now, apparently, it's been shifted to 2024 for the South African Grand Prix. That's when it's going to be held. So therefore, we have an available slot. By the way, there is 25 races. That's the maximum F1 can do. So because we are getting some more races, I think China's rumoured to be coming back at some point in the future. We've got Qatar on the horizon. So at the minute, we're at 22, 23. So those races have already exceeded the limit of races we can have in a season. So there's got to be some coming, removing from the calendar. And like I said, France is going to be going. Belgium more than likely will be going in the future. If it is on next year, I can't see it being on the calendar in 2024. And there's rumours that Monaco could be dropped as well. Belgium is one of my favourite tracks of all time. I love the racing there. I love playing it on the games, just on a side note, and it is on my bucket list to attend. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go to the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. So the fact that it might be on the calendar next year means that I'm definitely going to be going 100% if I can, afford it, to be fair, because I know going abroad in Grand Prix is quite expensive. So I hope that is true. I really do hope that is. I can't sort of clarify on this. It's only rumours on Twitter, really. I haven't really got any articles. I've just sort of seen this before I jumped on recording this. So that's what I've seen on Twitter. I will post maybe a screenshot of the original tweet that I saw just before I jumped on recording. So yeah, that is the rumours anyways. Belgium could be staying on the calendar. We think France is going to be going more than likely. Monaco, we don't know the future of that. Is it on the provisional calendar? They haven't said whether it is or not, so I'm assuming it is, and it will be there for another couple of years perhaps, but we'll have to wait and see on this. We should be getting a provisional calendar released very, very soon. Maybe after the Belgian Grand Prix, there could be something around that time at the end of August, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But at the moment in time, Belgium is apparently going to be on the 2023 Formula 1 calendar. So next up then, we are talking about Mercedes. Now, we know what a struggle 2022 has been for the reigning constructor champions. We know it's been a very, very difficult year for them for the first half of the year anyway. They haven't won any races. They have had a handful of podiums. They've been struggling with pole position at the beginning of the year. And now it seems to be that they're understanding the car a lot better. They seem to be more competitive, but they're certainly nowhere near the likes of Red Bull and Ferrari in terms of winning races. Mercedes look like they aren't anywhere near winning a Grand Prix on at least competitive terms anyway. They did bring some upgrades to the French Grand Prix, the most recent Grand Prix, but that didn't give them the push that they thought they might have got. I don't think they were expecting to catch Red Bull and catch Ferrari, but they were hoping to make a big enough jump, the fact that they could be challenging for race wins. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. They just sort of went, yeah, it was just sort of the same as what it has been recently with Mercedes. So now the talk is, are Mercedes going to be stopping developing their car and sort of giving up on the championship and looking ahead to 2023? Well, that's what Andrew Chauvelin has said this week, that apparently that they are really considering abandoning ship for 2022 and looking ahead at 2023 and hoping that the same problems don't occur again. Because he was talking about what a difficult year it's been. We all know what it's been. Talking about those developments I was on about before, he thought the upgrades would have pushed them a bit closer to the front, and it really hasn't. They got a double podium in France, which is of course their best result of the season, but it's still not where they wanted to be. The fact that Mercedes is celebrating their P2 and P3 shows how difficult of a season it's actually been for the 8-time Constructors Champions. But I think what they're waiting for, and this is what Chauvelin was referring to, was this new sort of floor rules that is apparently going to be coming in for next year to sort of control the porpoising issues that these teams have had. Now, of course, whenever there's a new regulation change, there's pretty much a divide in the paddock. Half the teams are with it and half the teams are against it. Mercedes are with these new floor changes that could be, like I said, making an appearance for 2023. Red Bull are against them. As you can see, why? Because Mercedes have had problems with porpoising a lot this year. Red Bull have had the porpoising, but they've mainly had it under control for the majority of the year, so they're pretty much happy with the car, whereas Mercedes aren't. I think it's all about raising the ride height as well as a few little tweaks with the floor. So therefore, Red Bull could then make a development, a step backwards because of this, and Mercedes could make a step forward. And that's what Red Bull are criticising, going, well, Mercedes are complaining, and they're the ones sort of making them outscore about this, and then the rules are changing for them. So that this should be the rules, and we should just all get on with it. That's sort of what they're saying. So yeah, like I said, I know it's been a very hard year for Mercedes. It's nice to see sort of someone else at the front. I know Red Bull were there last year, but it's also good to see Ferrari there, sort of. Mercedes not being competitive at all, but I do want to see a competitive championship. I would like to see Mercedes, Ferrari and Red Bull, the big three teams, all at the front fighting for victories week in, week out. Just like how it used to be with McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari in the 2010, 2011, 2012 season. I think teams would have already started work on 2023, but I think they are waiting a sort of confirmation for these floor rules. There's, the ride height rules before they make any significant work on their W14 it will be. So I think that's what they're waiting for. So I think Mercedes will be sort of, waving the white flag, conceding defeat and going, we aren't going to win a drivers or constructors title this year. We sort of already know this, but Mercedes are still in that fight more, mathematically anyway, but we know it's not going to happen anyway. So we'll have to wait and see on this. I think, yeah, it probably is the right time for Mercedes to stop, look ahead for 2023, solve their problems, make sure it doesn't happen again, and hopefully we can have a competitive fight for the championship next season. So finally then, on the news, Alpine CEO Rossi is confident that Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri will be on the grid for the 2023 F1 season. Now, there's been a lot of rumours circulating around the future of both drivers for their futures going to be next season. We already know about Fernando Alonso. He left Formula 1 and had a couple of years away. He came back with Alpine for 2021. Stayed around for 2022, of course, and then speculating his future for the foreseeable future, because they have Another driver in the ranks, we of course know Oscar Piastri, European Formula Renault champion, FIA Formula 3 champion and FIA Formula 2 champion, all in a row. A fantastic, very, very good, up-and-coming young driver in the ranks. He doesn't have a Formula 1 seat. He's currently a reserve driver at Alpine. And there's been a lot of circulation around his future as well. People are saying, well, Alonso's had his time in Formula 1. He should move over and allow, Oscar Piastri to take his seat. But Alpine are pretty happy with having Alonso there. He's showing no signs of slowing down. He's been very competitive this season, and he was last season. He's one of the quickest drivers, in the recent era of Formula 1. He's well experienced. He's a two-time world champion. And he knows the team inside out. This is his third stint at the Enstone-based team. His past two stints were when they were called Renault. Now, on the side of Oscar Piastri, when people were talking about Fernando Alonso's, Alpine were saying that Alonso more or less will be there for 2023. I think he has a contract anyways for another year to stay for till 2023. So therefore it was like, well, where's Oscar Piastri going to be going? There were big rumours that he was going to be going to Williams to replace Nicholas Latifi. In fact, there was rumours that he was going to be replacing him for the British Grand Prix this year. So of course they weren't true. They were just sort of panic rumours that maybe somebody had started. How things spread like wildfire on social media these days. But now it's looking like he was going to be replacing him for next season, but apparently there's rumours saying that he's not going to be replacing Nicholas Latifi next season. So I don't get where this is going. Where's he going to end up? Is he going to end up at Alpine? Is he going to go somewhere else? If so, where is he going to go? I don't know. I always thought he was going to Williams alongside Alexander Albon, to be honest with you. But then again, who's to say Albon won't make way for Oscar Piastri instead? So we'll have to wait and see on this, because we know Michael Latifi, Nicholas's dad, brings a lot of investment in the Williams team. So we know Williams have been taken over recently, so they're not really strapped for cash, but as I always say, it doesn't matter whether you're a big team or a small team, any extra cash is good in itself. So if they're going to be getting rid of Latifi, of course Michael Latifi will be pulling out of all sponsorships with his companies, meaning that they're going to be losing a lot of money. So therefore they could say, well, Albon, look, you're going to have to make way because we want Oscar Piastri in there. But Albon is doing a pretty good job in that Williams anyway. So for me, on a driver's sense, it would make sense for Latifi to make way. But it could be a situation where none of them go, because I think Albon is still under contract with Red Bull. So Red Bull will have a say in where he ends up. I mean, they could always drag him back to AlphaTauri, but I think Tsunoda's staying, and Pierre Gasly has already been confirmed for next season, so he's not going to go there, and he's not going to go back to Red Bull because they've got both their drivers secure. So I don't know where he's going to go on that side. So I don't know what is going to happen with Oscar Piastri. He could end up at Alpine anyway, but Ocon's under contract till 2024, I believe. He just recently signed a new deal. And of course, like I said, Alonso has got his contract for next year. But Rossi has also hinted that Alonso may switch over to their endurance program. The LMD8? I think it's like Le Mans Daytona or something along those lines. They're like, well, the endurance championship division. They're on about Alonso going down that route if he does decide or he wants to call it a day in Formula 1. Because who's to say? Alonso might be the one to say, look, I've had my time in Formula 1. Alpine aren't going in the direction where I want them to go. Alonso wants to be at the front winning races. That's what he did say. That's the only reason why he would come back to Formula 1, but he came back with Alpine, who weren't at the front. Now they're in the midfield, challenging fourth, which is good, but not where Alonso wants to be. Very confusing times, I know. So Alpine could end up with Oscar Piastri anyway. I would like to think Piastri is on the grid for 2023. He is more than good enough to be in Formula 1. I would like him to see him replace Nicholas Latifi for next season. Latifi, he's a nice lad, but is he good enough for Formula 1? I would rather have Piastri over Latifi, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who agrees with that. So that rounds up the news for this week as well. Let me know your opinions about that in the comment section below, and all links to the articles I've used in today's news segment will be down below. Go and click the links, go and read more detail if you are interested, and of course give credit to the correct publicators. So that's the news done. Let's move on then to this week's debate, which is all about Ferrari, Charles Leclerc and his future with the Maranello team. So for this week's debate then, I've decided to choose Charles Leclerc and Ferrari and his future at the team. Now, We all know the struggle Charles Leclerc is going through at the minute, and of course Ferrari, where they are at as a team currently this season. It's been a fairly up and down season. 1 minute Ferrari look like the competitive team that they should be, and where their car should be, and of course where the team should be in itself. And then the next minute they just sort of trip over themselves. Bad strategy, bad reliability, and Ferrari are once again this sort of this mean team once again. The most successful team in Formula One, basically like a big laughingstock for Formula One. This should not be the case. They should be steamrolling people like Red Bull and Mercedes because of how their stature and their how long they've been in Formula One and the success that they've had. Whereas Mercedes and Red Bull, they've just came in, they've been like recent successes. Whereas Ferrari have been like they've won titles in loads and loads of different eras. So they should be the ones winning all the time. And at the start of the season, it looked really good for Charles Leclerc. He won in Bahrain, he won in Australia, a 1-2 in Bahrain was a very good start. Australia was, what a display that was for Charles Leclerc. And at that point, everyone was like, what a time it was. I think it was on 71 points coming out of Australia. Max Verstappen had another retirement, 2 out of 3 at the beginning, and I think there was like a 40-50 point gap between the two, I believe, at that stage. And then ever since then, it just has not went Charles Leclerc's way. He made a mistake in Imola. He was outpaced in Miami. An engine failure in Spain. A bad strategy in Monaco. His engine went bang in Baku. He had a grid penalty because of his change of components for the Canadian Grand Prix. He got screwed over in strategy at Silverstone. Then in Austria, he finally won the race. I mean, it wasn't comfortable sailing because he had a problem with his throttle. And then in France, he goes and bins it in when he's at the lead of the Grand Prix. And you're just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing recently, that Ferrari should be miles clear of Red Bull. Charles Leclerc should be ahead of Max Verstappen at this stage, and he's not because of an array of different things, mainly on Ferrari's patch. I don't want to blame I don't blame everything on Ferrari, because Charles Leclerc has made a couple of mistakes this year. Like I said, he made a mistake in Imola, a race where I don't think he would have won at that stage when he spun. So what I'm here to talk about is Charles Leclerc's future at Ferrari. Will he stay at Ferrari forever? Everyone's saying, well, he's going to stay at Ferrari forever. He's going to be the one to bring championships to Ferrari. But what I say to this is, now I said a similar thing when he signed this big contract, what was it, the end of 2019, I think it was, until the end of 2024, I want to say. And then when people said, oh, that's him, he's going to be at Ferrari forever, he's going to be the next Schumacher, that that Ferrari have backed him fully to be able to bring them back to where they once were, because Schumacher did a similar thing. Ferrari went 20-something years without a title there, and then once he won one, that was it. It was just sort of steamrolled. Schumacher had problems. Leclerc's going through some sort of problems. But Ferrari weren't the laughingstock they were back then. They sort of, got a hold of themselves with the same people that they had through the bad days into the good days, and they eventually got it sorted. Whereas this time, it's just one thing after another with Ferrari. It's just, like I said, bad strategy, bad reliability. When's it going to end, Ferrari? Come on, when's it going to end? Because this isn't the only time that this has happened. It happened with Alonso, it happened with Sebastian Vettel, and now it's happening with Charles Leclerc. And you're thinking, like, surely after 15 years of nothing, you could have surely put your ideas up and actually get a title under your belt. No, still a drought since no driver's title since 2007 and no constructors since 2008. That's mental for a team like Ferrari to go that long without a title. Bearing in mind how good that their cars have been. It's not like they have built some bad cars, but 17 was a good car, 18 was a good car, and this year's car is probably one of the best cars that they built in recent times, especially in the hybrid era, at least, or one of the best in the hybrid era anyway. And again, you just think of all the missed opportunities. So therefore, the reason why I want to talk about Leclerc's future is, how long is this going to take? How long is he going to be waiting around for Ferrari to give him a competitive car anyway, which I know he's got now, but a reliable one to say the least, to be able to go on and win championships and fight for championships? Because Charles Leclerc is more than good enough to win a title. He really is. He's a brilliant driver, and he's one of my favourites. I wouldn't say I'm a big Charles Leclerc fan, but out of the two between Verstappen and Leclerc, I'm more Leclerc's side, because I followed him a lot since probably since F3 in his younger days. I followed him through the ranks, whereas Verstappen just sort of came out of the blue, and I like Verstappen. He's a brilliant driver, definitely one of the best of this generation, 100%. But if out of the two, I'm always in Leclerc's corner. So I feel like a Ferrari fan. I feel like I'm a Leclerc fan, like a passionate Leclerc fan, just sort of frustrated, seeing what he's going through. So like, how long does this happen? How long does he keep doing this? Because if Ferrari keep making the same mistakes week in, week out, and whenever they get that opportunity, okay, we've got a good car, we just need to have it running well and have a good strategy under our belts. And again, they're blowing it again. Once again this year, they're blowing it. And I think it'll get to a point where Charles Leclerc would just go, look, guys, this is ridiculous. I've had enough of this. If this was all Leclerc making the errors, then fair enough. It's on Leclerc's shoulders. So therefore, he wouldn't leave under his own accord, because he would go, no, I want to sort this out. I want to sort out my driving. But this isn't just about Leclerc. This is Ferrari as a team. They're a joke. They're an absolute joke. It's so frustrating. It really is frustrating to see, bearing in mind that as a fan, I want to see Leclerc and Verstappen go wheel to wheel all the way to the very end of the season, to for them to be like this big title showdown that we all want to see. And alright, not every season is going to be like this, because I think now we're living through the Verstappen era and Red Bull era, especially with the new regulations. Ferrari should be there or thereabouts, but they're not. So this is like Verstappen's time. We've had the Vettel era, we've had the Hamilton era. Now I think this is going to be the Verstappen era. Hopefully the Verstappen-Leclerc era. But like I've said before, if Ferrari don't book their ideas up, I think Verstappen could be steamrolling these championships for, I don't want to say how long. It could be just as long as Mercedes. It could be even longer than that. I don't know. If Ferrari can't give Leclerc a decent chance to win a title, come 2024 anyway, when his contract runs out, is he going to stay forever at Ferrari, or will he jump ship to a different team? Because I'm pretty sure back in like 2009, 2010, around that time, nobody thought Lewis Hamilton would ever leave would ever leave McLaren. Alright, he went to Mercedes, which is sort of within associated with McLaren, because they were powered by them. They were sort of the face of Mercedes for a good while anyways, and Hamilton was through McLaren Mercedes anyways in his younger days. But it's still a different team, it's still a different base. They were still against McLaren, so racing against them. So it was still a big risk at that point. McLaren were still a front running race winning team, whereas Mercedes were up and coming, but they weren't proven or anything. They weren't a McLaren. I would say McLaren were ahead at this point when he jumped ship to Mercedes, but as we've seen, he's proven everyone wrong. He's steamrolled it recently. He's absolutely steamrolled it. So will Leclerc do the same thing? So again, you've got to ask that question. Well, Jordan, if he does, where does he go? Where would he go if he decides to either leave at the end of his contract in 2024, if he doesn't win a championship, or he might decide to leave a bit earlier if things again just aren't going his way? Well, I can't see him going to Mercedes, because I think they've got their future with Russell. I can't see him going to Red Bull, because having them two alongside each other in the same team, it just will not work. Only one could be champion, and both of them want to be champions. Having them at the same team, it's just not going to work. So there's them two out. Then who else? I mean, I think the two teams quite possibly could be at the front. I don't know how far ahead, but I would say maybe Aston Martin and McLaren out of the two could be at the front. Leclerc, but again, the same with the other two. I can't see Leclerc going to McLaren even if they are competitive, because they're future with Lando Norris. So my suggestion is, could he then jump ship to Aston Martin if Aston Martin are at the front? Because I can't see Vettel being there for very long. I think he will be there next year, but he's not going to be there forever. Alright, Lance Stroll is the future of the team, apparently so. His dad's the owner of the team, or one of the lead consortiums of the team. But I think if these rumours are true with Audi going to buy Aston Martin out, maybe Leclerc could jump ship and go there. I mean, there's no real links, but who knows? So yeah, he could make a leap of faith. He could surprise everyone and leave Ferrari and go there. But that's only like at this moment in time. I'm not saying that this is definite. I'm not saying that Ferrari, Charles Leclerc will leave Ferrari. I'm just saying that at this moment in time, I think there's like a 5%, 10% chance he will. But if this happens in 2023 and again in 2024, Leclerc's going to have to consider his options. Surely he's going to have to consider them and go, look, is Ferrari the team that's going to deliver me the championship? And I was asking these same questions when Verstappen signed that big contract with Red Bull until, well, he recently signed a new one, but back in 2019, I think it was the start of 2019, he signed a contract extension till 2023 or 2024, which was a big deal. And at that point, Red Bull weren't at the front. They were just sort of second or third behind Ferrari and Mercedes. So people were saying, well, that's a big risk for Verstappen. He obviously believes in the project that Red Bull have got, and look at where he is now. He's sort of over that sort of phase of, is Verstappen really championship worthy, or is it just an overrated, one of these drivers that was overhyped and whatever, and he never lived up to his full potential. Verstappen, where he is now, he's going to dominate the sport, and like I said, this is Verstappen's era. I would like it to be a Verstappen-Leclerc era, but like I said, I think Verstappen's there. So I've said the same thing, and sort of Verstappen has believed in Red Bull, and look at where he's at now. Leclerc believed in Ferrari. He believed, right, okay, I think maybe the new regs are the place to be. I want to believe in this team. The team have believed in me, so I want to believe in them. Rightly so. But again, like I said, if Leclerc wants to sign another contract on those dotted line, then Ferrari have to deliver him a championship before 2024. At least. So anyways, I'll wrap up this debate before I start another rant, and that's probably another video in itself. So before we go then, let's take a look at the standings and the weather report heading into this weekend's Hungarian Grand Prix. Max Verstappen leads the way on 233 points, 63 points ahead of his nearest rival, Charles Leclerc, who's on 170 points. Third place is Sergio Perez on 163 points. In fourth place is Carlos Sainz on 144 points, 1 point ahead of Mercedes driver George Russell, who's in fifth place on 143. Lewis Hamilton's in sixth on 127 points, and there's a big gap, 57 points to be exact, between himself and seventh place Lando Norris, who is on 70 points. Esteban Ocon's in 8th on 56 points. In 9th place is Valtteri Bottas in the Alfa Romeo on 46 points. And in 10th place is Fernando Alonso on 37 points. Take a look at the bottom half of the table then. Kevin Magnussen is in 11th place on 22 points. In 12th place is Daniel Ricciardo on 19. 13th place is Pierre Gasly on 16 points. 14th place is Sebastian Vettel on 15 points in the Aston Martin. Mick Schumacher is in 15th place on 12 points, 1 point ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who's in 16th place. Zhou Guan Yu's on 5 points in 17th. Lance Stroll is in 18th on 4 points. Alexander Albon is in 19th place on 3 points. And Nicholas Latifi is at the bottom and he's yet to score. In the Constructors then, Red Bull are at the top on 396 points, 82 points ahead of Ferrari, who's on 314 points. Mercedes are in third on 270 points. Alpine move up from 5th to 4th, they're on 93 points. McLaren are in 5th on 89 points. 38 points ahead of Alfa Romeo, who are in 6th place on 51. 7th place is Haas on 34. 8th place is AlphaTauri on 27 points. 9th place is Aston Martin on 19 points. And Williams are in 10th place on 3 points. The weather then for the Hungarian Grand Prix looks like this. On Friday, it's expected to be hot and dry with highs of 33 and lows of 17. On Saturday, there is a slight chance of rain with highs of 28 and lows of 14. And on Sunday, we can expect a dry race with highs of 30 and lows of 14 as well. There is no threat of rain on race day. So there we go then, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy the new look F1 debate show. I've sort of crammed everything in one episode every single Thursday. Hopefully that they will be released. I might miss some weeks because I do have work, like my shifts change a lot. I've got a house as well, and I'm getting some cats, some new pets. So I think my time is going to be consumed. So it might be every Thursday. I don't want to promise it, but I'm hoping to get it out every single Thursday. Hope you did enjoy. Leave me your feedback in the comment section below. Did you enjoy it? And maybe some improvements I could make. Maybe I didn't like this segment. Maybe add this. I do have ideas for more segments, but I don't want to add too much in one go. I sort of want to, ease into it once again. So please let me know your feedback. Be as critical or as praisable as you want. Let me know in the comment section below, and everything I've spoke about in today's episode with the news, links to all the articles, like I said before, in the description below, and give me your opinions on Charles Leclerc. Will he stay at Ferrari beyond his contract in 2024? Should he or shouldn't he? Let me know your opinions in the comment section below. But guys, thank you so much for watching as well. If you are new around here, then please like and subscribe as well, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next episode. Enjoy the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hopefully, like last year, it will be an absolute cracker. I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye.